and welcome back to the session on your queues here. So today's topic, what we are going to discuss in queues is nothing but we call it as priority queues. This is one of the classification of queues. So previously we have actually discussed a different type of queues, and today we are going to discuss about something called as priority queues. This is one of the interesting topic what we have. Now, if you talk about here in the previous session, we have discussed something related to circular queues. Isn't it? Circular queue is nothing but whatever the array representation we are using here. So here, whenever you're deleting the element, you know that queues means we'll be having front and rear will be pointing to the last, means this entire queue is filled. So what will happen when you're deleting the elements from here? The front will be incremented one after another. So then these are the empty spaces that are available here. So to utilize this particular empty spaces within the array, we will be using something called a circular queue. So what will happen here is nothing but suppose this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So after 4, it will be again coming back to this particular location and we can insert the next element. Suppose initially we can insert 5 elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after 5, if you are deleting some elements here, suppose you have deleted an element 1 and 2, then you can insert the next element after 5. For example, if you are inserting 6 and then we can insert 7. So what we are exactly doing here is nothing but we are trying to save the memory. So that we know that anyhow arrays was when we are implementing any program using arrays, they do have some drawbacks. What is the drawback is it is a static representation, and moreover the problem is once we are declaring that particular array, we cannot add additional elements. And if you're declaring the size of the array too large and you're utilizing only few number of spaces, so definitely that is again results in a wastage of that particular remaining spaces. So that is a drawback here. So to overcome that particular drawback, we are actually implemented circular queues. And after that we have discussed about something called as dequeues, where we have seen that we can perform insertion and deletion can be done in either side. Insertion and the deletion operation can be done on both sides, right? On both sides we can perform the operation. What do you mean by that is nothing but this is an array 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can insert the element from this direction. We can insert the element from this direction also. Same way we can delete. Okay, so we can delete the elements from this particular direction and we can delete the elements from this particular direction. But only thing you people have to consider here is there are only two different type of DQs one we can implement. One is something we call it as input restricted, and another one is something we discussed is output restricted. So what do you mean by input restricted here? Means input can be inserted, means value can be inserted into the array only at one end. We are restricting the way we are inserting the element into the array. So here insertion can be done only in the one end. That is nothing but front and rear will be there. This rear will be incremented just like your normal queue. That is what is saying. But coming to deletion in this particular phase, you can delete from both the directions, from the beginning as well as from the ending. Whereas coming to the second one we discussed is output restricted. What we discussed here is that output restricted, nothing but deletion is been restricted here. Means insertion can be done either in the beginning or it can be done in the ending. That depends. But whereas coming to deletion, deletion can be done only in one side. So which side it is means basically we have seen a program where we have implemented that particular deletion with respect to normal queue. Normal queue in the sense front is representing. So whenever we are deleting, this front will be incremented. So this element is deleted, front is incremented to the next element wherever it is present. And when you're deleting this 20 here, then the front will be incremented too. So this is the normal operation we have seen. So in output restriction, insertion can be done in both ways. Insertion can be done in both ways. But whereas coming to deletion, well, deletion cannot be done. Deletion can be done only in a one way. The way we actually implement this using a normal queue representation, that is what we are going to see. But when you are coming to input restriction here, so insertion can be done only in one direction. That is incrementing rear. Only one direction you can perform insertion. That is nothing but incrementing rear and you are adding the elements. The second thing with respect to is deletion. So in deletion, we can perform both the operations. So deletion we can perform two way. Either we can delete from the front or we can delete from the rear. That depends upon the way how we can execute it. So that is what we have discussed in the previous session. Today we are going to discuss about priority queue. So what is this exactly means is nothing but within an array. Okay, not only array, it can be a single list. Here I'm just for representation purpose, I'm using this array. Let us suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an array A. And in this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. These are the elements we are having. Now here in priority queue, what is saying is that every element that we are inserting in this particular array will have some priority. Let us suppose the priority of this particular element is 1. The priority of 20 is 2. This is something for 4. This is something you can say 7. And this is something you can call it as 10. Now remember, this is the priority what we are allocating to this particular array. Now here in this thing, the first one, whatever I'm presenting here, one means it's a highest priority. One is nothing but we call it as a highest priority, and 10 is what we call it as a lowest priority. So every element what we are inserting into this particular array will be having a priority associated with that particular element. Will have a priority associated with that particular element here. So based upon that priority, but remember one thing, this priority depends vice versa. Like in some systems and operating system, one is considered, for example, one is considered as highest priority, and let us suppose 10 is considered as lowest priority. Okay. So just like your ranking system. So in your class, you might be having anyone topper here, first ranker. So she will be having a highest priority. So someone might be having a what we call, so some other person who got around so 50th rank, so they may be having a lowest priority. They will be provided with respect to. So that is what he means to say exactly here. So, but in some systems, like in some other operating system, 10 may be given as a highest priority. One may be given as a lowest priority. That depends. Okay, that depends upon the operating system, whatever we are using. Now, since we are discussing this particular thing, here we will consider the first pattern. What do you mean by first pattern is 1 is given the highest priority and 10. So it is ascending order. So when you're representing elements, suppose 35, 40, 12, 6, something like this. Okay. So this is a priority. These are the elements, and this is the priority associated with that particular element. So one represent that this particular element is having a highest priority. So this particular element has to be processed first. So here in priority queues, whichever element is coming first, that element, I mean, whichever element is having the highest priority, that particular process will be, or that particular element will be processed. So let me explain the introduction part. So here you can see that the priorities, what he's saying is that the elements will be assigned. So as I told you that every element what we are inserting into this particular queue, they will be assigned some set of priority. They will be having a priority. And based upon that priority only, we will be determining how the elements will be processed within that particular queue. Okay. So obviously remember that queue is nothing but last in, first out, right? No, that is wrong. That is last in, last out. First in, first out. So here, whichever the element is inserted first, that will be the first which will be removed. So definitely that will have the highest priority. Remember that. So here the general rule for processing. So whenever, as I told you that based upon the priority of that particular process, we people can perform the operations on that particular element. So what are the rules we need to follow here is nothing but there are two rules here. An element with the highest priority will be processed before an element with the lowest priority. As I told you, suppose there are two processes. Let us suppose I have two elements. One element is 50. Another element is 30. So if you see here 30, okay, and let us suppose coming to the priority, this process is having priority 1 and this process is having priority 2. And what did I tell you? The 1 will be considered as a highest priority, then definitely 2 is the second priority here. So which element will be processed first? 50 will be processed. Even though you know that 30 is the smallest number, still this particular 50 is having the highest priority. So we will be performing operation on this particular element. Then we will go to the next. This is the second phase we will be implementing it. So that's what comes under into this particular thing. That is what he's saying exactly here. So element with the highest priority will be processed before an element with the lowest priority. And there is one more step that we people have to follow. What is that? What in case if both of them are having the same priority? Let us suppose two elements are there. So there is an element 50. Let us take the same elements. And in this, what happens coming to the priority? This is having a priority 2 and this is also having a priority 2. then which element should be considered in order to process that? What do you mean by processing here is nothing but performing insertion, deletion, whatever the operations we are performing, that operation is talking about. So which element need to be processed first? So here, whenever there is a tie between the priorities of two different elements, we will be using FCFS order. That is first come, first serve order. Okay, we'll be using first come first serve order. Now this is the order, this is one of the technique we use in operating system subject. When you'll be coming to the tutu, then you will be having second year second semester, you'll be having a subject called operating system, and on that you'll be working on this particular technique, first come first serve technique. So based on that particular, so okay, let me go out of this particular topic for right now, and let me explain you. So this first come first serve service, whatever I am talking about here, and this priority, whatever I'm talking about here, you may be getting a question, sir, where we exactly use this particular technique? Well, this will be used in our operating system. I will show you practically also where it is. Okay, don't worry. Once this presentation gets complete, I will show you where exactly in operating system we are using it. Now here within the operating system, you what happens here? You are running different applications. Now right now, you people, operating system means don't consider that itself as a laptop. It can be a it can be a laptop, or it can be a device, Android device. Your Android device is nothing but your mobile phone, which you people might be using it right now to watch this particular video. And at the same time, it can be your personal computer, whatever it is, whatever the electronic device which consists of an operating system, that will be using this particular priority queues. Okay. Now, what happens here within this operating system? If you try to open different applications, you know that within the operating system you're having different applications. Let me give an example. You people have something called as paint option. Yes, that is one application. You people will be having something called doc, means that is a document file, you people can open it. Same way, if you want to open an Excel sheet, dot xls excel, what are these all? Now right now I'm showing you this presentation, means this is a presentation with xyz dot ppt. So this is one application. Right now I'm running one application. Apart from that, you people might be seeing a pointer which is moving right now here. This is also one of the application I'm running. So here within the operating system, whenever you open one application and run it, that will be run by particular processes. Whenever you open a new application, that will be assigned, that application will be assigned to one of the process by the operating system. P1, P2, P3, P4. So four process means four different applications are running in my system. Assume it in that way. Now this process will be performing the task whichever is getting. For example, PPT. Right now I'm showing you the PPT. So this PPT, whatever I'm displaying, the slides are getting changed, right? One after another, I'm shifting the slides. So that is taken care by this particular process. Now I'm using a pointer here, which is moving, and I'm able to write something X, Y, Z, something. See, I'm writing here. So this will be handled by the second process. This process is handling my pointer. The third thing is I'm using a tool here. See, you can see here, this is one of the tool I'm using. Now it has opened. Now if I start working or writing something here, so that will be taken care by this particular process. Oh, sorry. That will be taken care by this particular process. We call it as process number 3, and so on. That depends how many applications you are running, that many processes will be executed, and these processes will be using this particular priority queues. Why? Because every process will have certain priority. So right now, for example, this dashboard I'm using, this dashboard is having a lowest priority when compared to I wanted to present this PPT in front of you. So this will be having the highest priority, and the same way I'm using a pointer in order to represent, that will be having a highest priority. What about this one? They may be having a lowest priorities. So this is the way how your system exactly works. I will show you practically how within the operating system where these priority concepts are used. Okay, don't worry. In the end, I will show you. So stay tuned to that. Now here, so whenever you want to modify a queue, modify in the sense nothing but inserting an element into the queue, or you want to remove the element. So how to remove it means whichever is having the highest priority, that element will be removed first. Remember that. Whichever is having the highest priority, that will be removed first, and whichever is having the lowest priority, that will be removed in the last. So there are different factors we need to consider when we are implementing it. What are the different factors here is, priority keys are used, okay, whatever I explained it, that I'm representing as a statement. So here priority queues are actually used in operating system. I told you, right? So how they are used, so different processes will be created, and based on that processes will be doing. Now here, how to give the priority, that is also a consideration. Now I told you that P1 is having highest priority, P2 is having highest priority, P3 is having lowest. So how the system is actually deciding which process should be given highest and lowest, how it is going to decide. So that depends upon the different factors. The first factor, what is this, is CPU time. Means, let us suppose a process P1 is executing, okay, within your system. Let us suppose this process is handling your paint operation. Now you want to paint something that is for only 30. Let us suppose you want to use it for 15 minutes. Okay. And after that, you have opened VLC media player to watch a movie. So that is handled by, okay, you want to watch any movie here, and that is handled by this process P2. Now let us, you know that what is the time required in order to run the entire movie? Definitely, you know that this is 3 hours. Okay, assume it as 3 hours. So three into, let us convert into minutes. So 1 hour is equal to how much? 60 minutes. I'm talking about three. So 180 minutes. So which one is able to complete faster? The paint operation. So this will be given the highest priority by the process. I mean, what we call your operating system. So that is what we call it as CPU time. CPU time is nothing but the time required for a process to complete its task. Obviously, we know that where exactly the process will be executing within the CPU. So whoever is required less amount of time, that will be given the highest priority. And whichever is having highest amount of time they require, they will be given a lowest priority. Something like this will be considered. Okay. So that is one of the factor. So for this, I will be giving you an example so that you can understand here. Okay, this I'll show you in a format of a table. Don't worry. Here is the table. So within your operating system, see, there are processes, and these processes will be executing your task. And every process will have a burst time. Okay, you might be wondering, what is this burst time? Nothing but the time required by the process to complete. For example, I have given some task to you people to do it up. Now I'll ask you how much time you people require. Suppose roll number one will come. She will say, sir, I require 20 minutes to complete the task. I have a single system, and within this system, I had to perform some operation. I should make you people to work. And there are three people who are ready to do the work on my system. But how many systems I have? I have only one system. So I'll ask, okay, the roll number one, how much time you are going to take? She will say that, sir, I require only 20 minutes. Fine. Then roll number two will come into picture. She will say that, sir, I want only 10 minutes to complete the work. And then roll number three came, she requires 50 minutes. So she said, sir, I'm not so good in that particular work. Maybe I'll taking 50 minutes. Then roll number five came. She said that, okay, sir, I will be taking only 15 minutes. Now, what I will do is based upon these particular timings, how much time they are going to take in my system, I will be assigning the priority. So how will whom I should give first? If you see among 20, 10, 50 and 15, you know that roll number 2 is able to complete the work in 10 minutes, means she will be doing it fastly, and she will be coming out. So first I'll give the one as a priority to this particular roll number 2. Then I will search the next smallest number of time it requires. So if you see a roll number 4 requires only 15 minutes to complete. So I'll be giving the second priority to this. Means what happens here? One means highest priority. Then two means lowest priority when compared to the first one. Then I will be giving third priority to the roll number one because she can complete the work in 20 minutes. And if you talk about roll number three, she can complete the work in 50 minutes. So I will be giving the priority as 4. Now in this sequence, the particular task will be completed. So this computer will be given to roll number 2 first. She will complete within 10 minutes and she will come out. Then I will be giving that to second priority person. Who is the second priority here? Roll number 4. She will be given the task and she will, sorry, the system, and she will complete her task. And then comes roll number 3, and then finally roll number. This is the way how exactly within your system the process executes. Okay, so this is what he is giving here. So there are three processes here: P1, P2, P3, and P1 takes 5 nanoseconds to complete the task, P2 takes 4 nanoseconds, and P3 takes 7 nanoseconds. So what I will do is I'll give priorities here. So based upon the timing. So here, based on this, if you can see here, which one is having CPU? This is the CPU time. You can see how much time they require to execute the task. So here the P2 is saying that it requires only 4 seconds to complete it. So I will set the priority for this particular P2 as 1. So first I will be inserting within the queue P2 first. And then I'll go to the next one. So what is the next one we have here? 5 nanoseconds. So P1 will be inserted here, and then finally P3. So whenever I want to remove an element, you know that this is 0, 1, 2. This is your front and this is your right. So whenever you want to remove the element, the whichever the element is present onto the, in the front, that will be removed. So that is what the condition here in priority queue. Whichever is having the highest priority should be processed first. So who is having the highest priority here? Process number 2. So it will be deleted. Then process 1 will be deleted, and then process 3 will be deleted. So this is the way how this particular entire task works within your operating system. And within your operating system is the one this particular priority queues will be implemented. Now, another factor what we can consider here is the way the processes are executing here. Depends upon the priority here. Now, this is something different. You people might be knowing this. So here what he's saying is, let us suppose there are two processes I'm talking here. There is one process P1, there is another process P2. Now P1 is what P1 is performing one task. What is that? It is booking something order. So it is online order, it is actually booking. And if you talk about process P2, this is actually printing the document. It is printing the data onto a sheet. Okay. The first process is what it is doing. It is booking some item in a through online mode, maybe using Amazon, Flipkart or something like that. If we talk about priority process 2, sorry, the process 2 is actually simply printing the whatever the data is there onto the paper using a printer. Now, if I ask you, okay, which one should be given the priority first? What you will say? Definitely, you will say that process P1 should be given the first priority. Why the process P1 should be given the priority here? You can see that it is performing something called as online transaction. Means there is some security is there. There is some security measures we need to consider. You people are using like you people might be using username and password in order to log in and pay the amount and all for this particular. So definitely this should be given the highest because that particular username and password should not be get hacked by the hacker. That you have to take care. So definitely this should be given a highest priority. But if you take process P2 here, he's simply printing the data. There is nothing that we are going to lose when we are executing this. So definitely P1 should be given the highest priority. And then P2 should be given the next priority, whatever the next priority we are having. So that is what this is another factor. This factor depends upon the importance of a particular process, whatever it is executing it. So depending on that, you can decide it which one should be given highest and which one should be given lowest. Now let's go for the implementation phase. So how we can implement this particular priority queues? Well, basically there are two ways of implementation. First is we will be using a sorted list. Means whenever you are inserting the elements into this particular array, you will be inserting them in a sorted order. You will be inserting the elements in a sorted order. Okay. So sorted order means small to big. So small, whatever the number you're writing, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a sorted order, right? Ascending order. So you, as I told you, so one will be given the highest priority 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Consider this as a priority. So one is given the priority 0. So 0 is the one which we are giving. Lowest number will be given the highest priority index. I mean to say index here. So 0 means highest priority. So one is having highest priority, then two will be having next priority one, next three is having priority two. So three can, whatever the element is there here, three, this can be executed only when the first two priorities has been completed, the first two elements have performed it operation. So if you want to remove three, first you have to remove one, then you have to remove two, and then you can go for three. So here what he's saying is simply whenever you're inserting the elements into the array, just use a sorted list. Okay. And in this way, what happens here, you know, you need not have to search the entire array in order to perform or determine which one is having the highest priority, because you have already said that you will be sorting the elements and you will be placing it. So when you're sorting the elements means you will already specify that this will have a highest priority, then this one will have a lowest priority. So you don't have to search anything, simply you can delete that element from front front, and you can keep on deleting the elements one by one. Other method is there. The other method is, okay, we will use unsorted list. This time we are going to use unsorted list, but only thing is whenever you want to delete an element, unsorted list, I think you people can understand. So this is something 5, 7, 1, 2, 3. So let us suppose this is having the highest priority. So this, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me write it here neatly. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 elements. Suppose 5, 20, 1, 35, 40. Now let us suppose here 1 is given. I am giving 1 as the highest priority, 1. And then 40 I'm giving the second priority, 22 I'm giving the third priority, and this I'm giving the fourth priority, and this I'm giving the fifth priority. This is a priority. This is the elements, and this is your index. So here, if you see here, you know that the first element whatever you have inserted here is not the of highest priority. So what you have to do, you have to search that entire array to determine where exactly that particular first priority element is present. Then you will be removing that particular element. Now this is a typical task, right? You cannot delete an element from here. So it's a difficult task in a queue. We already discussed it, right? Or else you people have to use something called DQ concept and front and back, and based on that you people can try to implement and delete the element. So that is a typical thing. But what happens here? First, what happens here is you need to search the entire array. So can you people tell me what will be the time complexity for this? What will be the time complexity for this? So let us suppose there are how many elements are there? 5 elements, and you need to search each and every element in order to get the highest priority node. So definitely the time complexity depends here is order of n. The time complexity to search an element with the highest priority is going to be order of n. Okay, but when you're deleting the element, it will take only order of one time. Okay, so that is what he's saying. I'll show you. So here time complexity is the one which is factor. So when you're trying to sort the elements, when you're trying to add the elements into the array using a sorted list, it will what a sorted list in the sense nothing but first 1, then 5, then 20, then 30, like this. So here what happens, how much time it requires to insert an element here? Suppose there are 4 elements are there. So how much time it will take? 4 units of time. Now in case there are 5 elements are there, so 5 units of time it is going to take. Why I'm talking about here units here is I don't know how to measure time with respect to, because some systems will be measuring nanoseconds, some systems represents microseconds, milliseconds, some systems represent something called as seconds. Like for example, if when you're executing a program in a Dev C++, when you get the output, it will say that the program is terminated after 0.25 seconds. Did you see? Have you ever noticed it? 0.25 second. So means here their C++ is measuring time with respect to this. And some system might be measuring time with respect to milliseconds. Some other system might be measuring time with respect to nanoseconds. So when you don't know how to specify it, you people can specify as units, 5 units of time. Now let us suppose if there are 10 elements are there, how much time it will take to insert a sorted element or a sorted way? So definitely it will take 10 units of time, because 10 elements you have to insert it. So if there are n elements are there, order of n. And that's what we represented here in this particular thing. Now, whenever you want to delete the elements, since these elements are already sorted order, you know that the elements are already in a sequential order like 1, 5, 10. So automatically what we can do, we can simply delete the elements, right? So whenever you want to delete, you know, these are based on high priority. One is having highest priority. What is the next highest priority we have for 5? What is the next highest priority we have here for the element here is 20, and then finally 30. So if you want to delete, you can delete simply from front. This is front and rear. And then the next element deletion is 5. So at a time, how many elements you are deleting? One element. So what is the time complexity for that to delete an element here is order of 1. What is the time complexity we have here is nothing but order of 1. So this way we are going to perform the operation. But if you talk about unsorted list here, this will be different here. If you talk about unsorted list, that will be different here. Why? Because to insert the element, it will take only. So whenever you are inserting an element unsorted list, so automatically you're inserting in this means automatically it will take one time. Suppose I am inserting 5. So how much time it will take? So one element means one time. Then if I take 10 elements. So Next, if you wanted to take another element, means you are going to take something called as 20. So it will take one element because this is not in a sorted order. But when you talk about this particular thing, so what that is nothing but sorted list. Definitely, it is going to take order of n time. Why? We have to search the elements whether they are whichever the next position that is free, and then so means first elements we have to search and then we have to insert the element. So that's why it is taking. So this is what you people have to keep in mind. This is a vice versa kind of a condition. Vice versa in the sense sorted list will take for inserting an element order of n time, but deleting it will be very easy, only one at a time, so order of one. But unsorted list we are having means we can insert elements anywhere. We don't have to worry about their sorting order, ascending or descending. So it will take order of one time. So you can see here, this is vice versa. Order of one time to insert and order of n time to delete. Why? We have to search the element where exactly it is located. Unsorted list now. So in unsorted list 20, 15, 10, 1. So I had to first find the priority. So this is having priority number 2. This is having 4. This is having 1. And this is having something called as 3. So then I had to search one by one each and every element. So definitely the whole array will be searched. So definitely if there are n elements are present, then it will take n units of time to search and delete that particular element. That is what he means to say exactly in this particular scenario. Well, the last statement is what is actually typicating it. The thing is, it's very difficult either to use sorted list in order to perform a priority queue or unsorted list. They find it very difficult to do it. So what they overcome is, what they did is they came out with a hybrid kind of a condition here. What is hybrid kind of a condition here is nothing but they used some of the features of the first one and they used some of the features of the second one and they came up with the third option. And this option is much more better than this. Why? Because it takes only order of log and time in order to perform it. Let me give an example. Let us suppose, no, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, if you see here, I'll give an example. Let us suppose the value of n is 4. Okay. If you take a sorted list, what is the insertion time? Order of 4. What about unsorted? Okay, this is fine, 1. And if you talk about log n, this is with respect to both the conditions. So here it is order of 4, but in deletion is order of 1, and here it is order of 4. The first option, second. Third option is log n. So what is the value of 4? I mean, n value of 4. So if you are using log 4, I think in mathematics you know that log 2 square. So 2 log 2. In this way you will be getting it, right? Or log 2 2 you'll be having some formula, so automatically what happens, this becomes 1. Now you can see that this is a 2. How much time it takes in order to perform here is nothing but 2 exactly. Okay, but whereas coming to insertion here, for the first option it takes 4 times, 4 units of time. Second one it takes 4 units of for deleting. But if you talk about a mixed kind of a condition here, that will take only 2 units of time in order to perform the operation. Okay, so this is a simple mathematics what we are actually performing here. Okay, I hope you people understood. I'll explain one more time. Let us suppose the n value is here 4, right? And in the first option we said it will take order of 4 times to insert the elements, but for deleting order of 1 time. Second option, order of 1 time to insert the element, but order of 4 times to delete a element. But whereas coming to this, we are saying log 4, hybrid kind of condition. So log 4 means, in mathematics, you'll be having at the base 2. So here, when you try to compile it, can we do like this? Log 2 square base 2. Now this 2 will be coming here, 2 log base 2 and 2. And you know that log 2 to the base 2 is equal to how much? 1. So that implies 2 into 1. So that is nothing but 2. So it will take 2 units of time to perform the task, whereas coming to the first option will take 4 units of time and the second option will be taking 4 units of time to perform it. But if you take the features, means taking some features of the first and second features and generating an algorithm that is nothing but for priority queue, it will be taking only 2 units of time to complete the task. So which is better? So obviously the one which we have developed right now, hybrid kind. So that is what he was saying. Now here priority queues can be represented using linked list and it can also be represented using something called as queues. I mean arrays. But first I'm talking about linked list, and the program also, whatever we will be discussing with respect to priority queues, we will be discussing related to linked list, not with queues, because I mean, sorry, the arrays, because arrays are a little bit complicated. So we'll be discussing related to the program related to here something called as linked list. So here the first thing what is talking about here is linked list. What we are going to do is we can represent using arrays and link that I already told you. So here what we are going to do exactly here is when you people are inserting a linked list, I think just recall the diagram which we have used to use for representing a linked list. I think this is a linked list. Linked lists are represented using something called as node, right? This is the node. And we have discussed it. This particular node will consist of two different blocks. The first one is what we call it as the data block, and the second one is what we call it as a next block. This is a pointer which point to the address of a next node, isn't it? So if you have two blocks here, so this is a data block, and here also this is a data block, and this will consist of address of the next block. That is what we have discussed in our linked list concept. Every node will have two blocks, but here there will be something different here in queues. Let me explain it and then I will show you the presentation. Here we will be having three blocks. Now please don't get confused, this is not a double linked list. Okay, please don't get confused here. I am not representing a double linked list, I am representing a single linked list only. This is a single linked list. Okay, don't get confused here, please. The means usually double linked list is represented in this way, but actually here this is a node which we are representing as single linked list. Now you may be getting it out. So why then there are three blocks here? Because single linked list means node will consist of two blocks. Then why there is a three blocks here? Well, here the first block, whatever you people are seeing here, this is a data block that you know very well. The second block, what we have here is, you people know that this is a next block, which points to the next. Then what about this intermediate block here is nothing but, this is the block which we are using to store the priority for that particular data. So whatever the data element I'm going to store here, let us suppose 10. So what is the priority for this particular 10 that I am going to store here? Let us suppose the priority for this particular variable element 10, I am giving it as 2. That is what I am storing it here. So how it will be represented here is something like this. 10 is the data element. Suppose the address of this node is 100. This is a node and the address of this node is 100. The data element is 10. The priority is, let us suppose 1. For normal sake, I'm giving it. And this will consist of address of the next node. The next element I have here is 20. Let us suppose the priority for this node I'm giving it is 20. Then this will be pointing to the next one. What is the address here? We have 200. And you know that in linked list, this 200 will be present here, right? You know that. I don't have to explain it, right? So that address will be stored in this particular location. Then this is a third node. Let us suppose 30 and the priority what I'm giving is 3. So these are the elements I'm having. So this is the way it is represented. So please don't get confused. Double linked list concept is different. Double linked list. Suppose this is a double linked list I'm representing. Okay. So if you are using double linked list, this will consist of data, this will consist of address of this, and this will consist of address of the previous one, like this one. So for example, this is 100, this is 200. So this 100 will be present here. This will consist of data and this will consist of address of this 300. That 300 will be present here. So here it will be having 200 null. But here when we are implementing priority queues, that will look like something called as double linked list, but actually it is not a double linked list. It is something we call it as linked list representation, where the first block will consist of data block. The second block will consist of something called as what I am saying is priority. The second block will consist of priority, and the third block will consist of address for the next block or next node, whatever we are having here. Please do remember that. So that is what I'm going to explain here. So first is information part or data part, as I told you. So first one is data part. Second one is priority. So this is for priority. And then what about the third one? The address of the next block. So this is the address. Address for what? The next node, whichever we are having. So this is a way how we exactly represent this particular thing. Now, if we are using sorted linked list, so first technique, if I'm implementing something called as a first linked list, then what you're saying exactly here is that the elements with the highest priority will precede the elements with the lowest priority. Now here, remember one thing I wanted to clarify here. One, if I'm giving a priority as one, so next priority is two. This element two is greater than one, but this is having a highest priority and this is having a lowest priority. Don't get confused. You may be so as per numerical point of view, number two is greater than number one. But here what we are saying is the one which has the lowest number, lowest numerical value, that will be having the highest priority. That you people have to keep in mind. So here what is saying when you're storing the elements here, so lowest priority means the one which is having a lowest numerical, that will be inserted before, and the one which has highest numerical, that will be inserted in the last. That is what he means to say here. Let me show you the diagram. Yeah, see here, you can see here, this is the linked list representation for your priority queue. You can see there are three blocks. The first one consists of data. I'm storing alphabets here, A. So this is the data block. And what is the priority I'm having here? Priority is 1. And this consists of address or next. So B is having, this is a data block, and B is having a priority 2. Now if you see here numerically, what is the meaning of this particular number 3 point is that whenever the element with highest priority will precede the element with the lowest priority. Means the element with the highest priority will be coming before the element with lowest priority. Now if you see here, number 1 is smaller when compared to 2, but number 1 is given the highest priority here. 1 is the one which we give it as highest priority. So it will come before the lowest priority. See, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. So as per number point of view, 5 is greater than 4. But as per priority 5 point of view, number 4 is having highest priority when compared to number 5. This thing you have to keep in mind, remaining processes same. So if you see here, so this is having highest priority. So this is before the next highest priority. What is the next highest priority element? We have B. And after that, what is the next element, highest priority element? We are having C and D. Next highest priority is E. And then finally, the next highest priority, what we have here is F. Now here the question is, if I ask you which one has come first, you cannot say. But with respect to this, you please consider here, C and D are having the same priority, 3 and 3. Then the question is which particular element we have to take first so that we can process it. So what you can say, can you tell me which one we have to do, whether C or D? So as I told you in the previous slide, whenever we are having a tie, priority tie like this, we will be using FCFS order, whichever has come first. Now you know that whichever has come first, that will be inserted first in a queue. So that means C has come first and then D has come first later. C has come first and D has come later. That's why we have represented like this. So if which element we have to process after A and B means definitely we have to process C. I mean we have to delete C, then only we will be deleting D, and then finally E, and then finally F. So this is the process what we are going to see, and that is the note what I am saying. Lowest priority number means highest priority. Lowest priority number means 1, 2. 1 is the lowest number, but this will have highest priority. 2 is the lowest number when compared to 3, but this will have highest priority when compared to 3. 3, 4. So 3 is a lowest number, but it is having highest priority when compared to 4. But when compared to 2, 3 is having a lowest priority. So whenever we are executing it, first we have to execute the elements which are with priority 1. Then we have to execute the elements which are with priority 2, then with 3, and then with 4. This is the order we have to use. Remaining process is very same. I hope you people are getting it what exactly this is. Very simple it is. Now how to insert the elements here? So whenever we are implementing using linked list, it's very simple. First thing what we have to create is we have to first create a nodes. First we have to create a new element that has to be, so obviously what we are going to do, we are implementing linked list now, so we will be creating a node, and within this we'll be giving the data, and the here we'll be giving the priority. After doing that first step, we'll go to the next step. What is the second step here is, already there will be some elements present here, isn't it? Data, priority, data, priority, data, and priority. So here, whatever the priority number is there, let us suppose the number. Okay, I will explain with the example that is much more better, right? Now, let us suppose you are already having a linked list like this. Now, like this. Here you are having element 10 and I'm giving the priority as 1. This no number is 100, 200, 300. So this will be having 200 here. This will have 300. Now the next element what I have here is 20 and the priority I'm giving is 2. Next element I have is 40. Okay, sorry, 30 and the priority I'm giving here is 4. And now I have a new number. Now I have a new number, something called as 40. Sorry, 40. And to this particular number, the priority what I'm giving here is 3. Okay, this is a new node which I have to insert into this particular linked list, and the priority of this particular node is 3. Now, how to insert it? So first thing, in the first step, we will be creating this particular node. Now, this node priority will be comparing with each and every node that is present here. So 3 will be compared with 1. So if you see here, 3 is greater than 1, means 1 is having highest priority. So we cannot insert here. On here we cannot insert it. Why? 3 is greater than 1. And we said that lowest number means highest priority. So 1 is having highest priority when compared to 3. Next, we'll go to the next one. 3. 3 is greater than 2. This condition also fails. Why? Oh, as per numerical point of view, this condition is true, but we are considering priority. Lowest number will have highest. So this is having highest priority when compared to 3. So definitely this condition fails. Okay, not this condition in the sense not 3 greater than 2. The priority condition is failing here. Then we will compare 3 with another element 4. So 3 greater than 4. Now this time condition fails, means 3 greater than 4 means this time condition failed, means 3 is having highest priority when compared to 4. So definitely 3 has to be inserted before this priority 4. So we have to insert the element somewhere here. So what is the element here? 43. Simple. The address 300 will be placed here and this will be replaced, and suppose the new address for this is 400. That 400 we are going to store it here. That 400 I'm going to write it here. Same like the way we insert it. So there will be link from here and from here to here. And this link will be vanishing. This is the way how we people are doing it. So whichever the element we are getting, we have to see whether it is greater than the next elements. So 3 is greater than 1, so we cannot insert here. We'll go to the next one. 3 is greater than 2. Yes, condition is true, so we cannot insert before that. Then we'll go to the next one. So 3 is greater than 4. This time the condition fails. So definitely that in element or that particular node should be inserted at this point, and we'll be simply doing it. I will explain that with the help of a program. Don't worry. So just understand the logic, how exactly this has been working. So that is what I mean to say the second point. The entire list has to be traversed to find a node that is having a lower than the new element. So whichever the priority is lower than new. Lower priority in the sense the value should be greater. The priority number should be greater. Now, the new node is inserted before the node with the lowest priority. That is what we did here, isn't it? So that is what he's saying exactly in this. Take an example. A is having a priority 1, B is having a priority 2, C has 3, D has 5, and E has 6. Now I want to insert another element here. So what is the element I want to insert is, first I will create a node. I want to insert here a data F and the priority is 4. So first what I have to do, I have to create that particular node. And in that I have to store 4. And what is the priority? I'm sorry, F, no? So what is the data here? Okay, let me write it perfectly here. So I wanted to first create a node here. Okay, and here let us suppose what is the data I want to store here? F. And what is the priority of this particular F is 4. Now this 4, I'm going to search with each and every node that is present here. See, 4 is greater than 1. 4 is greater than 1. Condition true. What I have to do? Simply traverse, go to the next one. So that is nothing but go to the next node. There, 4 is greater than 2. Condition satisfied. Go to the next node. That is nothing but incrementing. Next, 4 is greater than 3. Condition satisfied. Go to the next node. So 4 is greater than 5. I think this time the condition failed. Now you come to know that where you have to store the element. You have to store this particular node before the node which consists of priority 5. Where is priority 5? Here. So you have to insert the node in this particular location. Okay, I hope you're getting it. So this is a way how exact. Very simple it is. Very simple it is. So you can see here. Okay. So after inserting it, what happened here? 4 came in between 3. I mean C and D. In between C and D, you got a data F with the priority 4. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wherever this condition fails, 4 greater than 1 condition fails, 4 greater than 2 condition. Now let us suppose I want to insert another element then. I want to insert another element Z and the priority is something like 7. What will happen here? When we are performing it. Same, 7 greater than 1 condition fails, 7 greater than 2 condition fails, 7 greater than 3 condition fails, 7 greater than 4 fails, 7 greater than 5 fails, 7 greater than 6 failed. Since you have reached the last, that will simply come to know that there are no more nodes to compare. So definitely this particular node Z will be placed in the last. So Z, what is the priority here? 7 and here X. And this X will be replaced with the address of this particular node. That's what we are doing it. It's very simple. Isn't it? It's very easy. That's why we are going to represent this using linked list. If you want to represent with the what we call arrays, that will be somewhat bit complicated. So this is the final thing what we have here, priority number 2. So suppose if you have a priority number 2 here, F is having a priority with 2, definitely it will be coming before C. That is what he means to say. Okay. So let me show it up. What exactly he is saying here is nothing but second time you got another variable data F and this time you're getting, so forget about this one. This is the one you consider it. This is the already present linked list what we are having. Now you want to insert a data with priority F and the priority number here is 2. But if you see here, this particular second node already consists of a priority 2. Again, you're getting another data F which is having a priority 2. Where to insert this? So since both these particular nodes are having same, first what you're going to do, you're going to create a node F2. Now since both these nodes are having same priority, what did we say? We'll be using FCFS order, whichever has come first. So here you can understand that which element has come first, B or F. You know that simply B has come first when compared to F. Simple. So you'll be inserting F after B. So you'll be inserting somewhere here, and that is what you did here. So after B, you have placed this particular. So both are having same priority. Since B was there in the big from the beginning, so this is first it has come up. So this has come up next. So we have inserted this in this particular location. So this is the way how exactly this particular thing is getting executed. I hope you people understood it. When coming to deletion here, deletion is very easy when we are implementing. Since we are so using a sorted list, right? So highest priority will be present onto the front. So definitely that is the one which will be deleting it. Suppose this is, this is one in the sense highest priority. So whenever you want to delete, you'll be deleting this element. So this becomes the next highest priority number. And whenever you want to delete an element, you can delete this particular element. Then this becomes the next highest priority number. So this is the way how we are going to execute. Same like how we implemented queues. Same way we can implement this also. Next thing what we have is array representation. Well, we will not discuss today. We'll discuss this tomorrow. Okay. This is something which we people have to understand perfectly. This is somewhat complicated, array representation. And after tomorrow, we'll discuss about this. And at the same time, we'll be discussing this program. This is with respect to your linked list. I'm representing this. This is very easy. You can see the number of lines what we have, but it is very easy when we are implementing it. Okay. So I'll explain it tomorrow with the example so that it becomes easy for you people to understand. For I hope that today's class you have enjoyed this. So this is all we have for today's session. Thank you. Thank you for watching.